is Gladiators by Tristan, Devin, and Kate.
Gladiators in society were peasants and often had to farm to make a living. Peasants were also known as serfs. Gladiators usually trained in the woods, often attacking trees and wood.
Black & Decker brand snares. Watch where you're walking.
Slaves often lived in poorly made living quarters, such as this one. I'm going to give him his privacy. His slave toilets were often in horrible condition.
Yes, they were. As you can see, the lid falls off.
Gladiators were never able to eat normal food. They had to hunt their own food, which they often fought over. This was good exercise.
Gladiators usually fought until one was killed. If the loser's life could be spared, the spectators waved their handkerchiefs. Now, gladiators were usually prisoners of war, slaves, or criminals condemned to fight in these contests. However, some free men fought for fame and money. One emperor, Commodus, also fought in the arena. Successful gladiators became famous in Rome. The comment, "the girl's delight," is spread all over gladiators' walls. In other words, they were good with ladies. One of the most famous gladiators was Spartacus, a slave from Thrace who led an unsuccessful rebellion of gladiators and slaves. Gladiators were usually fed and received medical care. They were generally housed in barracks. The first gladiator games were held in Roman castle markets in 264 BC at the funeral of an aristocrat. Most of the contests after that were held at funerals or celebrations and were under state control. At the Colosseum, wild beasts fought in the morning and gladiators fought in the
Grave
afternoon.
robbers often robbed funerals and gladiators fended them off.
Commodus was an emperor who fought many gladiator battles. This is one of his battles. This is Commodus, and this is a slave.
This weapon is known as a chuck. I was known for kicking.
Slaves usually lost during these battles.
Bullseye.
Slaves, after they died, were usually tossed in boats for their burials and shipped off to sea.
Well, here in Tennessee, we got a tradition of growing the best beans around. I mean, all around here. It's family owned, like the California stuff. It's me, my wife, and my sister. Well, that's the same person. And my daughter and my cousin. They're finally getting married. We're really proud of that. But we have the best Dakota's beans. My bad, Dakota's beans. Yeah, I must say it. What are you gonna do about it? Anyway, the best beans in around. These go great with syrup.
Here we are with a modern day gladiator. What kind of weapons and armor and equipment did y'all use back in the gladiator times?
Well, for armor, we wore a helmet and a chest plate with a little bit of leg strapping. For weapons, we had swords such as this, axes, nets, and tridents. And also for armor, we had shields.
How did your fight go with Augustus?
Oh, it went well. I mean, it was real bloody, and I cut his arm off, and then he tried to swing at me with his nub, so I cut his head off.
Were you a prisoner of war, a slave, or a criminal?
I was a criminal. I stole someone's foot while they were sleeping.
Was you friends with the most famous gladiator, Spartacus?
I was. He was my father.
Oh,
The
okay.
first gladiator battles were often held in rural areas such as woods. Sneak attacks were used. But they can take a lick. Unfortunately, the unlucky ones tended to fall on their swords. Gladiators often prayed before a battle.
Be with all the gladiators during this fight. Let them be safe into their afterlife.
Slaves were often executed in the Colosseum. After a beheading, gladiators always fought.
Are your boats able to travel by land and water? Mine are. Watch this. This is the Land and Water Boat by Smith & Wesson. Sold at your local Dollar General for $200. See you later.
Gladiators were warriors who were usually prisoners of war, slaves, or just people looking to make a living. They entertained crowds in Rome, but they usually ended in gruesome endings.